We finally got our hands on Wilson's latest and greatest, and it's one of the most talked about rackets in a long time.
Should I hold my pro staff so I look like I know what I'm talking about?
From the massive attention surrounding the early prototype, the Python, to the surprisingly controversial name Defier, today we're putting it to the test to see if it actually lives up to all the hype.
Dude, this is so cool. I thought it was gonna be like open play or something. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we got this whole place to ourselves.
So cool.
So we're here at the Las Vegas Country Club. I have the privilege of hitting here today and testing the Wilson Defier. This is the 98, so 16 by 20, and I consider this Wilson's answer to the Babolat Pure Arrow and the demand that created. So I have about half an hour on this racket. It's a demo. It's strung with alu power, I think 1.25 strung in like 50, maybe 52, something like that. I have about a half hour on this racket, and yeah, pretty much just playing with it stock, over grip, that's it. And I brought my buddy Jack today. He's got a nice one-hander. You move well, you slide well.
Cheers.
Yeah, you're a Wilson guy. Very curious to get your take on this racket too. So you haven't hit with it yet, but you have any first impressions? You've taken a quick look at it. You're a pro staff guy right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, judging off the prototype colorway, I wasn't sure what the kind of throat shape would be like. Kind of reminds me more of a V-core than a blade. Almost like the look of like the old Steam, the Steam 99. It kind of looks like that. A little more arrow looking though, for sure. I don't think I've ever hit with the 1620 before either, but the string pattern's very open.
Well, I guess we'll hit around and come back to say what we think.
Sweet.
Cool.
What a privilege to be hitting indoors today with the Wilson Defier. I'm playing at the Las Vegas Country Club, and thank goodness, because I think it was like 112 degrees Fahrenheit. But you would never know it inside here. And for anyone not in America, that is above 44 degrees Celsius. But hey, enough of me complaining about the hellish temperatures in Las Vegas in the summertime. Let's get back to the racket. So by the time that this playtest footage was being filmed, I had already had about 45 minutes on this racket from the day prior, getting to know it at some different courts, Lone Mountain. So in this footage, I'm essentially picking up where I left off, and by this time I had already confirmed I like a lot of things about this racket. It was, in my opinion, a racket that Wilson could have had quite some time ago. I always felt that Wilson was really slow to respond to the demand for something really optimized for baseline, topspin heavy tennis. It always felt like Wilson chickened out somewhere where other brands really embraced the necessary design details. And by that I specifically mean beam and throat details that are good at reducing and resisting torsional flex. Wilson always chickened out somewhere, usually around the throat, with something too box beam in my opinion to ever be really competitive with something like the Pure Arrows or the V-Cores and so on. This time I can't say that. Also, I think I like this racket better than the latest Pure Arrow 98 because that one softened up things in the throat a little and I can actually feel the racket face open up or close on the heavier shots a little bit. Here I'm finding my slice, and once I did, it's nasty. So that feel and that general sense of how to put spin and shape on the ball is very much there for me on this. But let's hand this racket over to Jack, who also has a lovely slice.
I'll move a chair to that side. Ooh, did I hit you?
You're good. It's plastic.
So Jack's got the Gasquet butt cap grip.
Legend.
He's gonna tell us a little bit about that. Now it's your turn with the Defier. You're gonna wrap it up as you like.
Yeah, so I like to have a little bit of flair on the butt cap. Usually I fold it in half and I'm gonna go twice around, but this grip's a little smaller than 4.5, so I'll probably go 3 times around.
Okay.
I know a couple other rec players who do this, but yeah, this is a little unique for sure. Funny enough, actually, this is how I used to tape my hockey stick too.
Oh.
Back in the day. I don't know if that carries over or what, but always have a little bit of bubbles. I don't really care. And it'll probably only go, 3/4 of the way up like a, normal one-hander grip would, but
Yeah, all the greats seem to leave a little base grip showing.
a little bit of leather just to let them know you got some style. But yeah, that's that. And then yeah, around the top, she's good to go.
Cool.
And yeah, always play with rosin on the hand too. Just because, it's 108 degrees here, you're gonna sweat a little.
Yeah, even indoors a little bit.
Yeah. But that's that. Nothing too crazy. I get why people, like to stare or look, but it feels pretty good.
It's certainly a look, actually.
Yeah.
No, it does. I mean, it allows you to relax the hand in a way you can kind of just trust that it's sort of anchored there.
Yeah.
It's more locked in place. Yeah, so it makes sense for one-handers too, I think.
Yeah, you get a little more leverage. It's nice. I've gotten used to it, and I don't think I'll ever go back, honestly.
I like the extra flair on the Wilson butt caps. I don't know if I build it up quite that much, but I always put Wilson butt caps on whatever just for the extra bit of
I like
flair
that
on
feeling
it.
too. Yeah. But this is it. This is how I'll play with it. See how we like it.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
And that is a candid reaction to the first few balls Jack has hit with the Defier. We're just hitting around a little bit, letting him get to know the racket, but he gets acquainted pretty quick. Nice slides from Jack as usual. The tricky thing about having a truly great spin racket is that you don't want to sacrifice too much of that ability to flatten out a ball and hit a penetrating through the court shot. And I really think the trick to achieving this is in having a 16 by 20 string pattern that's really open. If you tighten things up too much of that tension and friction is concentrated in the sweet spot. But with that 20th cross, you can spread things out quite a lot and take the edge off of the string bed from what would otherwise be a little bit too launchy, just by having that 20th cross there. And this allows you to design a racket that can match the super open 16 by 19s out there with really spread out strings and get that crazy snapback without being too launchy. It allows you to get what you want as far as spin goes without that slippery slope trade-off of becoming too launchy, and without having to tame the racket by making it more flexy or box beam. And maybe Wilson was late to figure that out or embrace all these qualities in one racket, but now it's here and it's all coming together in the Defier. As Jack got a little more acquainted with the racket at the baseline, it was time to take things to the serve. And Jack has always had a really nice crack and whip to his serve. No exceptions here using the Defier. I'll take a moment to talk about another racket real quick and we can watch Jack play, and I think his tennis and how he's getting along with the racket will more or less speak for itself. That said, the racket I want to talk about briefly is the Wilson Blade. Now, I don't mean to be a hater, but I have felt for quite some time that the Blade is one of the most overrated rackets, period. In some ways it was praised for doing everything well, and in other ways it was kind of praised for not doing anything particularly well. It was kind of the jack of all trades, master of nothing racket. And that's fine, that's cool. I guess it's one of those rackets where you get what you give, but there was a time where everybody had that green blade and Hyper-G on it, and I just got so tired of seeing that. It felt like you guys are just getting the stereotypical advanced player's racket and then putting Hyper-G in there because it's cheaper than the other stuff and it's green. I was super tired of that. This, I think, is legitimately just a better racket all around. I think it kind of takes what the Blade is but elevates it. You could call this the jack of all trades, master of none, but it's still better in nearly every category than the Blade. I think it virtually just outclasses that racket in every way. And part of what you might expect to be a trade-off from going to a Blade to something like this would be the control, the touch, general predictability of the string bed, etc. But I think so much of that is neutralized with that 20th cross. This racket has way less crooked crosses than the Blades. The Blades have parallel drilling and huge grommets, which makes for a mess of crooked crosses across the string bed. This racket cleans that up nicely across the entire sweet spot with only a couple of offending areas in the corners, which I'll point out later. But maybe that's why this racket feels pretty darn controlled and predictable, despite it leaning heavily in the direction of design details you'd find on a Babolat. Anyway, now that Jack has had some time with the Defier to get to know it, let's see what he has to say.
Pull up some stats for this thing first.
So your racket's a 97, the Defier's a 98.
Hardly a thicker beam, which is kind of interesting.
21.5 for yours, 23.5. So it's a 2 millimeter difference.
Very similar rackets.
64 is slightly softer on the Defier.
That swing weight's noticeable. It comes through really fast.
So the swing weight's, 6 units lower. Well, so you've probably hit with this for, like 45 pretty solid minutes now. What do you think?
Yeah. It's very solid. I was expecting it to kind of be more like a shift, but it's very stable. Only when you were hitting very strong balls right on the baseline did I feel like I needed to add any weight to it. But it comes through the air very quick. I definitely noticed that in the first 5 minutes or so when I wanted to swing out of the ball a little bit more, I was mistiming it. Really good access to spin. That was probably my favorite thing about the racket. It's not like over spinny or super launchy. Like I think the string spacing's really nice. As much spin as you want, you can get. Like with some of those older like spin effect Wilson rackets, it was like they're launching really high, and sure they have some spin, but it's kind of hard to control.
Yeah, you just have to play with spin all the time on every ball. You got to almost overdo it.
Yeah, or else they just launch. You have no directional control. But I felt this was like really a good point and shoot racket. It's really easy to maneuver. On serve, it felt really good. The kick serve again, really good access to spin. It's a beautiful looking racket too. I might have to grab one of these for sure. I like it a lot. There wasn't anything that I felt was really lacking other than maybe a little extra swing weight on some of those more powerful balls. But overall, very nice racket.
Yeah.
Really good addition to the lineup here. They got this one right for sure. I didn't love the shift. I'm not like a big fan of the Ultra or the Clash. I've been playing with the Pro staff for like 8 years now. But yeah, I think it benefited my game really well. Like I could switch to this easily. And I haven't said that about a racket since I picked up the Pro staff. So I'm glad you brought it out today.
Yeah, to be my Wilson of choice for sure. Could I see your Pro staff actually? I'm curious how the string beds kind of compare side by side. Oh, you don't have the last cross strung on this one.
No.
Oh, is that just how you do it?
No, I was actually just rushing. I was supposed to play with the guy, and I had no rackets left, so I strung that one up, and he showed up, so I just tied it off.
Whoa.
But I actually don't
You didn't
mind.
have time to do one last cross, so you just... That's
The guy was right
hilarious.
there looking over me. He was like, "You ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna tie this off."
So it's a paid hitting session or lesson or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my gosh. Huh.
But I
It's
love
actually
these.
quite similar. This string pattern looks almost identical, but as you move below the sweet spot, it's slightly tighter on the Defier. Other than that, it's extremely similar, minus the parallel drilling present on the Defier and not on the Pro staff. Well, what are some final words for the Defier that I might say? I think it's super playable at like any level pretty much for the target audience in stock form, but maybe leaves a tiny bit of room for people to add weight, which I would probably want to do. I'd put it somewhere in the head.
I think you or me are going to customize pretty much almost any racket we play with anyway.
Yeah, and I want
know?
a racket that has a little bit of room to do that.
Exactly,
You know? But I want my initial hitting experience to kind of tell me what the racket is like and be able to handle the tennis that I'm playing. But leave some room for me to customize as needed. So I mean, this racket's exactly that. So I'd add some weight in the handle and then a little bit in the head, and I think I'd be pretty freaking happy.
Yeah, I'm par with you, and I think it's going to be a bestseller if you know any good player plays with it. Really.
What do you think of the name? Defier.
It's bad.
The name's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I love Wilson. I'm not going to not buy the racket because it's called the Defier, but I liked Python better. You know, it's like a little scary, a little bit of a predator.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's already trademarked in the golf world, so they can't take Python. Fun fact, I looked into that for anyone that wants to get into an argument about it not being a trademark issue. It literally is a trademark issue. It's occupied in the golf world, and you can't have a tennis racket that also shares a lineup with the, that's just too close of industries.
I see. I like all the other names like Project P, like anything else other than the Defier. I think the shift was no one played with it on tour. That's a big marketing thing. Like if anyone in the top 20 had picked it up, it'd probably still be around.
Well, now suddenly a lot of people are using the Defier, so that's probably just going to be marketed really strongly out of the gates.
I hope. Yeah. No, it's a great racket. Like I can totally see it competing with the Arrow, obviously, but also like the brand new V-Cores, all those rackets.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be the best seller from Wilson this year, I think.
I think so. I think it's their most interesting and their best racket and my personal favorite.
The name could have been better for sure.
People get used to it, you know?
No, for sure.
I want one that says Redline just for the collector value. That'd be cool. If I can get one, I'll probably try one.
Don't you have your own? You have a prototype, don't you? Is that yours to keep?
It was a buddy's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is another thing, but I like that paint job more. I like the red, like it stands out on TV and on the court, of course, but
I actually like this color. This racket looks better than maybe I thought it would in person.
Me too, for sure. I thought it was going to be more orangey, but it actually is like a nice red. Yeah, I like the gloss on it. Like it is a good looking racket.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to play with it though. Like, I looked up all the specs for the past 2 months or whatever, but you really have to get it in hand, hit some balls with it. It is very hard to compare to other rackets. It's kind of plush, like the new blade. These new Wilsons are all just phenomenal. I love the new blade. This is my new favorite, probably, other than my Pro staff for now.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if you end up switching to one. I guess you're thinking about it a little bit.
I'm definitely thinking about it. 45 minutes in, I'm tempted.
You got the bag to match the color already.
I know, I don't even have to switch bags. It's good, but we'll see. I don't love a lot of rackets, I just have a thing for Wilson. I like the shape of it and stuff too. Like it feels good in hand, like with the 1E. It's easy to pull back. Yeah, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, this might be coming home with me, but You want to keep hitting?
Yeah, let's keep hitting.
Let's go.
All right.
And hit more we did at the Las Vegas Country Club, a private and exclusive location for which I will leave the link below if you want to learn more. I wanted to give a special thanks to this facility and host for allowing me the privilege to hit here. Thank you. You can support the channel with any of the links below. Get a discount on strings by Toraline or Restring, and insane discounts on all rackets at Direct Tennis. And my shoes of choice for this hit were the Kurt Moves, my foot-shaped tennis shoe of choice. But keep your eyes out for that momentum. And the other two brands I featured at the start of this video. More on them another time. I will leave you with some close-up shots of the Defier and a little rant about crooked crosses and where they are on this racket. I'll see you next time. Oh, and stay tuned for a future video on the racket I am making with Procanex. Crazy, right? But it's happening.
So you know I'm a little insane. There are a couple of crooked crosses on this racket. You can see it right here at the top of this grommet here on the bottom. And then if you go across, it's at the bottom. So the string here kind of opens up from the left to the right side, and that happens here as well. I think there's one other spot here on these white grommets. Yeah. You can see it's at the bottom, at the top one there of the white one, and then here it's at the top. So it's more spread out here on this side of the racket than it is here. You can see the string pattern kind of converges from left to right, and that bugs me, but the rest of the grommets are clean. And that's for you guys to debate whether or not it matters. It just drives me insane. And I don't think it has to do with being a tie-off cross, because these are doing that, and these are those little like isolated grommet attachments. Those are not tie-offs, and that's happening here. So I don't really think that's the reason. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know why they can't clean that up. I don't know why they even have that. Yeah, super annoying for me. Airfoil bumper. Yeah, I can kind of see it.